Most people would say that editing is the bottleneck of their video production company. I would agree with that, but I think I would add that I would add that organization is one of the biggest bottlenecks as well. Organization can be the difference between a 10-hour edit and a 2-hour edit. And obviously everybody organizes things differently, and do what makes sense for you. But if you need a good place to start, feel free to use this exact template. So a short outline of how I do things. After I film a project, I'll take all of the SD cards, the CF Express cards from my cameras and audio recorders and all that stuff, and put it onto an SSD. Here are two examples of what I'm using: a Samsung and a SanDisk solid state drive. After I'm done editing the project and I got it delivered, or if it's a YouTube video or a social media video for me and I've got it online and everything, I'll take all of the footage off of the SSDs and put it onto a hard drive, an HDD, for long-term storage. And then I back those up to Backblaze. And the reason that I don't do a RAID, like a DAS or a NAS or some sort of RAID array, is because all of those drives that are in that RAID array have one fail point. The idea of RAID is that if one drive in that enclosure fails, then you have all of the others to, get your footage back. But if the enclosure fails, then you're done. And I've gotten this from Jevin Dovey. He used to do a RAID array, and now he just has these HDD drives, anywhere between 12 and 30 terabytes, and then he just backs it up to an online service. And that's what I do now. And that also saves me a lot of money too, because RAIDs cost quite a bit. And so it's a lot. It just makes sense for me. Doesn't make sense for everybody. I get it. Totally fine. Makes sense for me. So now let's go through my actual file structure for each project. I actually got this system from Zach Mayfield on YouTube as well. I used to not do it this way. I used to be so sporadic about how I would lay out everything for one project. I'd have the drone footage in one folder clear over here, and then I'd have all of my audio folders over here, and I had to go to 3 different folders to get all of the footage for one project, and I've since cleaned that up quite a bit and made it really just seamless for me. So here we are on one of my SSD drives, and so instead of having like 4 or 5 different folders where I have to go in and get all this footage for this single project that I'm working on, I've got literally everything in this folder. I'll come in here and then I'll just drag and drop this template to, wherever I'm editing. And inside this template is where all of the footage goes, and the photos and everything. So I'll run you through this a little bit. Original footage. This is footage that I shoot on the day of the project. This can be drone footage, camera footage, the audio files, anything that I shoot on the day or days of the project. Archival footage is anything that I have to go back onto an existing hard drive and get footage from. So example, right now I'm filming a podcast for a client. I've done several projects with this client over the years, and so if I ever need B-roll for a social media clip from his podcast, I'll go back on my hard drives from years past and get some footage from that and put that into archival footage. Downloaded footage is anything if I'm collaborating with other creators, or anything that people have to send me through the internet, like Dropbox, Google Drive, just download it, put it in there. Also stock footage, if I download that from the internet, all that goes into downloaded footage. Audio, this is stuff like music, sound effects that I will add into the edit later. And then visuals, so this is like documents, so like talent release waivers, contracts, invoices, graphics, so like logos for the company, any photos, and then thumbnails if I'm doing like YouTube videos or stuff like that. Sequences, I actually don't use this folder in the Finder app or on my hard drives at all. I just have the sequences folder here so that when I'm editing, I can put any timelines, sequences, whatever in here. So like if I have 16:9, 9:16, 1080 timeline, sometimes I can have several per project. They all go into that sequences folder. And then finally, video exports. So, this is all of the final products for whatever project it is. And I don't follow this exactly for every single project. For example, if I'm filming a YouTube video or Instagram Reels or whatever, I actually have entire folders dedicated to just YouTube videos, because I'd hate to have all of these folders and all of this, unnecessary structure if I'm literally dealing with one camera file and one audio file. And then one other thing that helps me with editing that I've got on this SSD is my project assets folder. There's a lot of stuff in here that I need to organize and whatever else that I just either keep on downloading or buying from people, or I need to clean this up quite a bit. But the two folders that I use the most out of this entire project assets folder is visual effects and audio. In visual effects, I'm constantly using fonts, lens flares, overlays, Super 8, film burn, like just a lot of different visual assets. They all stay in here. I should name it assets instead of effects, but whatever. And then audio, here I've got, stuff from MusicBed, Universal Productions, Artlist, and then the sound effects folder. Yeah, so I have all sorts of different sound effects in here from different packs. And also I've recorded my own Foley at times. My project assets folder between visual assets and audio assets, dude, I use that on every project, and so that's literally saved my bacon, and it gives me a place where I can put all of it instead of just having it like in this and that and this and that. I have all of the assets in one folder, and that makes my life so much easier. That's a little bit of how I structure things for every project. This is my evolution of 5-6 years of doing things, and so clearly is not the only way to do things, and is probably not the best. This just keeps me so much more organized on every project, and it just makes sense, right? At the end of the day, whatever your process is, just needs to make sense. Thanks for tuning in. If you have anything that you do way better than me, leave it in the comments. Let me know what I can be doing better. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.